Welcome to Boardroom Broadcasts, speaking with listed companies from around the world. You can stay up to date with all our content by visiting www.boardroombroadcasts.com and clicking on subscribe.
Today's guest is Steve Prideaux, founder and CEO of Digital Investment Group Limited, or DIG. DIG is an Australian public company with over 300 shareholders. The company is an investor, inventor, and incubator of technology. With a clear focus on three areas of specialty: digital development, financial services, and incubation and innovation, DIG strives to find cutting-edge and disruptive solutions to an ever-changing marketplace. Steve, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So give us a proper overview of Digital Investment Group.
Look, essentially, we're an IT company that has grown into becoming a broad owner of a number of IT assets, essentially. And during that time, we've streamlined that operations into those three sort of clear divisions. So our bread and butter is technical capability. We build things. We build apps. We build software. We build APIs. We build platforms and those sorts of things. And part of that journey led us into the financial and automotive services, where we have another division where we have bespoke software platforms, white label salary packaging, vehicle wholesale trade exchanges, etc. A very, very interesting disruptive platform in the online virtual mortgage broking space. And the other division that's sort of grown out of that is when you're in the IT space, you tend to attract a lot of interesting conversations from startups and people with great ideas. So they might come to you looking to have a platform built or a quote or some advice. And through that, we've grown this division, which is our incubator accelerator. And we get involved in early stage startups and actually help guide them. And they either become clients or they become partners in our business as we work through that process. So three sort of clear divisions of technical, financial, incubation, and out of all of that, we're hoping that we provide a pretty broad, balanced platform for our shareholders with some core trading assets and a little bit of sizzle of future technology.
Excellent. So you're the founder and the CEO for the business. Can you give us a bit of a background on your corporate experience?
Yeah, sure. Look, I really started my life in finance, sort of accounting and finance in local government. Originally, believe it or not, it was just you graduate and have to go and get a job somewhere. And I pretty quickly figured out that the public service, whilst it was comfortable, wasn't really the place for me. It took me on a journey into private enterprise, and very, very quickly I got involved in the early days of the video industry, which was an incredibly exciting time of just mums and dads having these incredible businesses that were cash cows. There was so much money and so much profit generated in the early days of video stores. So it really gave me the opportunity to be a bit entrepreneurial and develop strategies for improving their profitability, increasing their investment, to pull together to create new stores and strategic partnerships out of that, which took me on a journey to ultimately having my own franchise chain of about 30 stores, which I ultimately sold to Blockbuster, and had a few wonderful years of my life on their international executive team, travelling the world and running sort of 400 stores in Australia, plus several stores through Asia, and absolutely being spoilt rotten by Hollywood film studios and video game companies and those sorts of things. But it really gave me a very, very solid grounding from I guess early stage entrepreneurship into working with the confines and structure of a New York Stock Exchange listed company, and the rigor and the corporate governance and the decision logics that you had to write before you could justify any investment. And I guess that really sort of catapulted me into corporate life, but with a strong entrepreneurial bent, I guess. And through that time, I've nurtured lots of startups and invested in plenty. So I'm really a passionate brand builder. I love building and creating companies and hopefully sustainable legacies for the people that are involved in those.
Well, you mentioned, building brands. DIG is looking to go public very shortly. Do you want to tell us about that story and what can you share with us about that?
Sure. Look, we started our life primarily as an IT company, and we had a hodgepodge of various investments all over the place. So to really tidy that up and to give maximum value to our shareholders, we ended up being taken over by a public company about 4 years ago, which was the birth of Digital Investment Group. And our intention through that was to build up the platforms, build up the business and the profitability, to take it public and list it under its own right. But it's along the journey, we've formed a really good strategic relationship with a corporate advisory team who've introduced us to a couple of other businesses, and one in particular is a current listed business who we have just this week received a takeover bid for. So in essence, we have an existing ASX company making a bid to acquire all of our business, but it's really like a reverse takeover. Essentially, we're the larger party, so we will end up being in control of the entity, but it's delivering a really tangible outcome for our shareholders to materialise investment, essentially from an off-market situation into an on-market tradable position. And the people that we've partnered with as part of this process, we've got very, very good quality investors and backers that are going to be able to help us sustain not only growth in the future, but to continue to further invest into some of the projects that we have in early stage incubation, which we're really excited about. So that'll all come to fruition over the coming months. And obviously, it's an interesting time in the market at the moment. We'll choose our time very carefully as to when we elect to commence trading on the ASX. But it's a very exciting time for us.
So, I mean, you're already talking about a lot of these elements, but in addition to this, what else do you see as the opportunity for investors moving forward?
Look, from our perspective, we've got a wide range of products that are tangible. We've got some gold, we've got some silver, we've got some bronze. We've got some great products. We've got some that just tick over. But we've got a lot of blue sky, and we've particularly got 3 or 4 early stage concepts that we believe are really going to accelerate in the year ahead. We're not being bullish in putting out forecasts and those sorts of things about it, but quietly we're really passionately excited about those genuine disruption and genuine game changers in established marketplaces.
Going public is a big milestone. Before, we started the interview, you're telling us about just how arduous of a process it is and what it actually means to a business. So beyond that, what is the outlook for the company once the listing takes place?
Look, purely growth. We're going to commercially launch a couple of our biggest projects, as I mentioned. We're a virtual broker platform, which is a game changer in the financial services market, and our trading exchange for the automotive space, turning a very, very old-fashioned business into a cutting-edge digital platform. They're huge. They're both pure disruption. This is a time when businesses light on resources, they're light on staff, scaling down, and we can come to them with digital solutions to revolutionise the way that they work, operating from a very low cost base. We think we've got a lot of advantages for our investors in the next 6 months. And the thing I'm most passionate about, within a listed environment, the opportunity to raise capital and create a fund where we can really invest in incubation. It's we see so many startups and so many good concepts, come to us, and you just can't find funding for them. And it's a sound idea. Commercially, there is no reason why it won't be a success. They just can't find funding. We're pretty risk averse in investment circles in Australia. Hence why a lot of these guys end up overseas in the hubs of Israel or Silicon Valley and those sorts of things. We really want to have access to a fund where, if we passionately believe in something, we've got the opportunity to actually help them get to early stage commercialisation.
Okay. There's companies of different sizes. Oftentimes companies are headed by, people later in their career who are a little bit older. And sometimes this stuff can get a little bit above an organization's head, depending upon how many resources they have available to them. Are there any, key areas that you've noticed when it comes to adapting and integrating digital technologies that people should really be doing within their business?
The current situation in the market at the moment, we're in the midst of COVID-19, and people working from home has been a game changer for many businesses. You can either do it or you can't do it, and I think that's going to dramatically change the landscape. We're very interested in the emergence of AI and machine learning, and we've got some very talented young people who are leading that process for us. And that's part of the engine behind a couple of these new platforms that we're building, which essentially can change the way businesses operate. Car dealerships, for example, might have a $180,000 finance manager sitting there writing loans. They don't actually need that. They just need a laptop and someone who can make a cup of coffee, who can connect somebody to a digital online virtual broker, who can take them through an application process for finance. We've got integrations back to our panel of lenders. We can, in many cases, get instant approval for people before they leave a dealership. If you then expand that out into dealerships that never even had the luxury of affording finance managers within them, caravan dealers, boat dealers, within the residential space, kitchen builders and those sorts of things, where someone would go, have a conversation, maybe get a quote, walk out the door with a business card to go and try and find some finance. And they might come back and they might not come back. Now, with our platform, those businesses can revolutionise themselves to actually provide lending within their premises, hopefully get pre-approval and possibly get a deposit from the customer before they actually leave. So those businesses that are capable of adapting to change are going to be huge beneficiaries of the platforms that we're delivering. And I think the current state of the market, with businesses going into hibernation and reduction of resources, it puts us in an incredibly strong position to actually capitalise on the momentum of when that curve starts to turn.
Interesting. Okay. And there would have to be competitors already in your space who would offer similar services. So what do you see as being your difference?
Look, we've got a finance company. There are finance companies everywhere. You can get a car loan, you can get a mortgage, you can have somebody build a website or an app for you, etc. So a lot of our core products are bread and butter services that we think we actually do well, but they're not significantly different. Our difference is our core disruptive platforms that we're about to launch. But the thing I get the most satisfaction from, I talked before about being a passionate brand builder. Our Startup in a Box platform, it's our incubation. So we meet people early stage on their journeys. They might be an IT guru and they know how to build an app, but they don't know how to do a financial model, write a marketing plan, apply for a trademark, set themselves up in a corporate structure to protect their assets, or they might have a really good sense of business savvy to be able to do some of those things, but they know nothing about IT. So we utilise our internal resources within the organisation to assist them and work through that. We go through an early stage evaluation process and we either like it or we don't. If we like it, we'll actually do things for free. For free. We do it without receipt of cash. So we strike a deal where we take some early stage equity in their business, because most of these guys don't have access to cash. They've got a great idea, and if they had a bit of cash, they probably would have spent it already trying to further and develop their ideas. So we essentially wrap them up in a box and get them investor ready. And that's a difference, because there's lots of people out there who, try and milk as much money as they can out of startups, and they go back and see your mum and dad and see what they can do to help you. And we avoid all of that. We're really passionate about helping them get ready and genuinely partnering with them in the business. During that time, it gives us the opportunity for a couple of things. One is to really understand the business and its capability, because we will have conducted extensive market research by then and costing and done financial models. But the other thing, we actually really get to understand them as a budding entrepreneur. And if we find that magic formula that we like the people and we believe in their ability to deliver their vision and we like the platform, it gives us the opportunity then to put up the early stage capital that the business needs to go to the next stage. And I think that's a game changer. I don't know anyone else in that space that actually does that. And for our investors, that gives them early stage access to what could be the next big thing. We're there from the ground level, from when it's an idea on a whiteboard, and have the opportunity at any stage to protect our investment by continuing to put some cash into it. And that's a part of the business that really drives and motivates me. I get the most pleasure out of the emerging tech and helping people, really see their dreams come to reality.
Excellent. In a more broader sense, we've now talked about what you're doing, going public, and your background. Are there, one or two key business insights that you've learned over the years?
I've got a couple of golden rules in business that I've learned through the years and I apply. And I touched on one earlier, and that is people like to do business with people that they like. Be a likable person. And I learned that early stage when I set up my franchise chain. We ended up with 30 stores. We only had a couple originally, but we were industry focused. We were passionate about branding and marketing. And we found that we were getting spoiled by the film studios. As a small business, we weren't relegated to sales reps. We were being nurtured by the MDs and the marketing directors, because they were passionate about the business and were passionate about our vision. And it was just something that I learned early on. And it's very, very easy to do business with people that you like. So be a likable person. And most importantly, be a business that's easy to deal with is really important. And the other one, and it's a great lesson I've learned in life, is about taking interest in your human resources and your people. I've got, I'm in my mid-50s now, and I still get contacted by people I worked with in our 20s for a bit of career advice. A little bit of help in their life. I've maintained close relationships with most of the people that I've worked with along the journey, and that's probably because I took an interest in their careers. There was something I particularly noticed at Blockbuster. We had about 130 staff in our office, and there might have been a girl in accounts who worked in accounts because it was a job that she got to help feed her family, but she also had a marketing degree and was passionate about that. And by getting to know your staff and actually understanding their career journey, it makes a significant difference in actually you being able to help them become the people that they want to. And that often means leaving your organisation and pursuing a career somewhere else, but it's okay. Not everybody stays forever. What's really important is that they contribute to your business when they're there, and they think about the business warmly when they leave. So they're two things: looking after your people and helping them to be the best versions of themselves that they can be, and for your business being the most attractive business that you can be for someone that want to do business with you.
Well, look, Steve, that's really all that I have for you today. Before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, look, it's quite a surreal experience at the moment. I'm sitting at the dining room table at home. We closed our office a couple of weeks ago and implemented a work from home rule, which was something that I never thought we would face. But it's businesses right around Australia and right around the world are experiencing this at the moment. We're going through changing times and uncharted waters, and the level of support from the governments, Commonwealth, state and local, is unprecedented in terms of the things that they're doing to stimulate the economy and to enable businesses to continue to thrive and hopefully have a future. And from my perspective, it's probably never been a more exciting time for us to be on the journey that we are at the moment, because we're at grassroots of so many game-changing, innovative platforms that I'm really excited about the coming months and our ability to roll out of this under a full head of steam and capitalise on the Australian economy as it starts to rediscover itself and business starts to recommence trading. And that's, look, anyone who's out there in their business at the moment and possibly also sitting around their dining room table or their home study thinking about what they can do, now is the time to be bold. Now's the time to be brave. Now's the time to be innovative. And there's a lot of that lies within the IT sector. So, I'm sure that we will continue to grow and continue to develop and be in a position to help many of those businesses rediscover new ways of doing things.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much for your time today, Steve.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I've enjoyed the chat.
This has been a production of BoardroomBroadcasts.com, a division of Romulus Rising Proprietary Limited. All rights reserved. You can stay up to date with all our content by visiting www.boardroombroadcasts.com and clicking on subscribe.